All right, so hey, how's it going out there? Hey, I got my new Garmin 106 ECHOMAP Ultra 10-inch. So, I don't know why everybody gets excited about an unboxing, but I'll go ahead and do a true unboxing. And we'll see what's in there. And then we'll go ahead and set it up, power it up, and start putting some settings in it. All right? So first off, we got the owner's manual and the literature. And you always want to take a good look at that. And for you guys who already have an ECHOMAP and this is your second one, the installation's a lot easier because everything should connect. But I will warn you, this thing is really heavy. And it's heavy because the base is made out of steel. So when you get the box, don't think they sent two of them to you. There's really only one in there. And you get the cutout if you're mounting it in a dash or something like that. Got a template. And of course, with Garmin products, you get the cover. Real nice cover that comes with it. And that's awful handy, to be honest with you. And I had mine on my 293 SVs and it blew off. Now, I had them in a box and I forgot to put the box up. And it blew off the boat and I couldn't find them. But at least I got a cover for this one. All right, and there it is. 106, 10-inch screen. And if you're wondering, there's a 102 and a 106 and a 122 and a 126. The difference is if it's got a 2 at the end of it, that's your worldwide base map. And if you have a 6 at the end of it, that's your G3 maps. So we got the G3 maps on this unit, which is the 106. And here's the goodie box. So I'll flip this around so you guys can see it. So I got this unit on sale for $999. So with that, I got the GT54 transducer, not the GT56. And I've been pretty happy with the GT54 so far. So if I wanted to get a GT56, I can always buy the transducer later. But you get all the mounting hardware and everything that comes with it. Of course, you get the power cord. And again, I'm assuming, and we'll find out in the installation video, but I'm assuming that the power cord for my 93 SV will work on this 106 because they're both an ECHOMAP series. Now, like I say, this is your mount, and this thing weighs a ton. So it's heavy. It's made out of steel. And you can tell right up front, it's got different knobs on it for turning it. And quite a bit nicer actually than the 93 SV ECHOMAP. And also what I notice is the latch mechanism that holds it in. If you have a 93 SV, you know it's kind of hard to get that thing to pop on and off. This has a little lever on the back and you push it and it just releases up and releases the unit. And then you push it when you fold it down and it locks in place. So that looks like that's going to be a real improvement. I think I'm going to like that. And here is the difference, the biggest difference between a 93 SV and a 106. There are two main differences. One, you can see you got two network ports here, which means I can network 3 devices together without having to have a black box. It also has a port for an NMEA network connection as well. So if you're already set up with a different connection other than Garmin, you can plug this unit into that. So that's pretty handy also. And of course up here, you've got the outlet for your power cord. And then these two here are the 2 transducers. Of course, the other advantage is right here. And you might or might not be able to see that, but there's 2 SD card slots. And that's important if you're running separate maps or you have like a Navionics map chip. You can plug that in there with your buddy's waypoints on it and still have your Active Captain and be able to network everything together. Because you do need an Active Captain card in the unit to be able to network to everything, unless you have that card in another unit. And we can go over some of that networking later. But it is nice to have the 2 SD cards. Now, before you get started, go down to the store, because they don't send this with the unit. It's a 32 gigabyte micro SD card. It doesn't have to be 32 gig. You can use the 16 gig, but you can't go over 32 gigabytes because the format up to a 32 gigabyte SD card is different than the format on a 64 or 128. The higher gigabyte cards will not work. So 32 gigabyte is what I recommend, because that's going to give you the most that you can put in these units. Okay? So run down to the store and get one of these before you get started. Now here you get 2 ferrite beads, and a ferrite bead goes around your transducer cord. So because there are 2 transducer ports, they give you 2 ferrite beads. Don't forget to use those. Those will cut down on the interference coming from your trolling motors and your batteries and other electronics on your boat. You also get some gaskets. If you're mounting it in a console or something like that, you get some gaskets to go around the unit so you get a good tight fit. And you get a few mounting screws. All right, so there we are for the unboxing. Now let's go ahead and get this thing ready to power up and get it registered with Garmin, because this is all brand new. So we'll go through that whole process. All right, so a couple of things before we get started on the power cord. So the power cord, I went ahead and connected it to my battery. If you are planning on reusing the power cord from your 93 SV, make sure that the fuse is the same size. So pull the fuse out of this cord and take a look at the fuse in the cord that you have coming up through your console or wherever you're going to mount it, and make sure it's the right size fuse, because the last thing you want to do is get out on the water and blow a fuse. Okay? So, all you're going to do is you're going to take and just plug this into the back of the unit. On the inside, when you put this on the mount, let's go ahead and take that off for you. When you take that off, you can see the pin connectors in here. What these are for while you're transporting or while you're going down the road is you can put that over there and keep the junk out from those pin connectors. And then when you're not using them, you just fold them in the back, slip your unit on there. Like I say, press that handle and it'll fit up underneath the groove in there. And then just bring it down, press that handle, and lock it into place. Okay? So there you go. So this video is going to be a little different because I shoot these with my iPhone, and I'm going to use my iPhone to do all the connecting to this. The other thing I'm going to do is while we're going through this, I'm going to turn these lights off so we don't get the glare. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and get that all set up, and we'll see you here in just a second. All right, so we're back. Let's go ahead and power this up. Now, the first time I powered this up and checked it on the camera, it was way too bright. So I'm going to go ahead and go through this and narrate it until I get to the point where it'll let me get to the menu. Okay, we got our warning, and if you notice, I got my SD card out. I'm going to wait until it prompts me to put it in. So let's go ahead and hit agree. And select the country, language. And we're going to go through this basic setup, and we can change things later. So we do have a power boat, and it gives you a choice between a power boat and a sailboat, and then the safe depth for your boat. Mine's pretty shallow running, so I'm going to put 3 foot, but if you had a sailboat, that could be much different. Vertical clearance, I'm going to go ahead and put 10 foot, just in case I'm standing up. Collision alarm range, I'm going to go ahead and put 1,000 feet on that, but that's your preference. Collision alarm time, 3 minutes, because my boat's not very fast. All right, and then it has the built-in map, Blue Chart, G3 HD, Vision, and HD Garmin Lakeview G3 Ultra. And you can go ahead and read through that if you want. That's just their disclaimers. Now we're to the regular screen. So let's see if we can get that backlight turned down a little bit. And by doing that, all I did was press my power button quickly, and it gives me that menu for the backlight. Let's go ahead and turn that down. Let's go ahead and hit the home button. All right, so let's go ahead and go to our Active Captain icon. And getting started, select Wi-Fi network and turn on Wi-Fi technology. Download the Active Captain app on your mobile device. Connect your mobile device to the chartplotter Wi-Fi network. All right, so here's where I'm going to lose you, fellas. So as we get started with the download on our Active Captain app on our phone, and we get to go ahead and get it all connected to the Wi-Fi, and you got to have an internet connection. So I actually ended up taking this back inside my house because I don't have a quality connection out here in my shop. So we took it in the house, and that's kind of what you're seeing on the screen. And sorry about the poor camera quality, but I'm doing the best I can. So I'm screenshotting off my phone. That's why you can kind of see the different things on my phone. I'm not recording it, I'm screenshotting it. Anyway, so the first thing it's going to do is it's going to go into your Active Captain, and it's going to update the Active Captain community, and that takes a few minutes. Then it's going to go through a software update. And what it's doing when it's doing that on your phone is it's uploading all the updates into the unit itself, but it's not implementing them until you review them. So what you'll see is after it's done updating, there'll be a screen pop up on the bottom, and it's going to ask you to review the update. And you'll review it, and then you'll go ahead and allow it to put the updates and implement them on your unit. Now you don't have to do that right away, because the next thing it's going to do, it's going to go right into updating your Active Captain community markers. And that's going to take another few minutes. But when you do go ahead and update your software, when you go through and you review it and you say, yes, I want to use that software, and you click install, then it's going to take a couple more minutes. And what it's going to do is it's going to go through and it's going to shut down your unit at least a couple of times and restart it. So don't touch it. Just wait. It will eventually come back on. There's going to be one period in there that takes probably a minute or two before it comes back up. So be ready for that. Just let it do its thing. Go eat a sandwich or something, and then you're pretty much ready to go. Now for this next step, we got to go ahead and connect our transducer, because we want to go ahead and put all our settings in. And if you don't have a settings guide, I have this on Amazon, or if you want to go ahead and send me an email, because what this has in it is just the file structure. It doesn't have the actual settings that I start out with on a unit. These spreadsheets I can send you, they do. They have the actual settings that I'm going to go ahead and program in this unit that was in the other video that was for the 93SV ECHOMAP. Now, one thing you'll notice, I've got green check marks on all my Active Captain icons here when I go into that Active Captain, except for smart notifications. The reason I leave that off is because you'll be sitting there fishing and you'll be looking at a waypoint and trying to manipulate and get to that waypoint, and all of a sudden there's going to be something pop up on your screen, phone call, message, and it gets really irritating when you're fishing. So if you're expecting a phone call or something and you don't like to wear your phone on you, go ahead and turn it on. But I can always hear my phone, so I leave that off. And I don't want those notifications popping up on my screen all the time. Especially you guys that have got live scope, I really don't think you're going to want that happening. So that's up to you. You can turn them on and see if it affects you. but if it does, you can turn them off here in, just go to the Active Captain icon and turn those smart notifications off, okay? All right, so for this next part, we're gonna have to go ahead and connect our transducer to put the settings in this. Now you can also wait until you get on the water if it's your first time and you're not comfortable doing it, but I'll show you how to disable all your sonar here in just a second. So hang on and I'll be right back. I gotta get the transducer out. All right, so what I did, I went ahead and powered the unit down, and I just took the transducer out and I connected it to the back. And there's also a rubber-proof ring in the box that I didn't put on when I connected it. Now we'll go ahead and turn it on with the transducer connected, but you need to have the transducer plugged in to access all of the menus. All right, agree to the terms and conditions. And I keep getting this cannot unlock maps. And I tried this outside. I went outside with the battery, and I did get my charts and my maps, and they did come up when I had GPS signal. And if you notice here, it doesn't give you your time or anything else, but you don't need that to go ahead and put the settings in. So what we want to start with, since we have our transducer out, it's not in the water, so we're going to quickly hit our power button again. And now you see it's going to give you the option to disable all sonar, and you want to go ahead and do that because you're out of the water. And if you hit it again, you can re-enable it, okay? And also, if you didn't watch the other video I put out, by quickly pushing that power button, you can adjust your backlight, your color mode. Right now it's in auto, so it would be in night mode because it's getting dark outside. Lock the touch screen, or enable and disable all sonar. All right, so let's go in here, press it. Our sonar is disabled. We'll go home, settings, and you can see this menu here is just like the 93 SV. There's going to be a couple of subtle changes in it. One thing I did notice that changed a little bit, go to sonar, clear view, and menu. When you go like into your clear view or traditional, you get a little side menu that pops up. And actually I like that a little better. That contrast is pretty handy right there. So I kind of like that, to be honest with you. All right, so we're not going to go through all the settings in this particular video, but in the end screen you'll see another video I did for the 93 SV, and the menus are very similar, if not identical. I think there's a few subtle changes, but I'm going to go ahead and start putting my settings in this so when I get on the water I don't have to worry about it. Again, remember to disable your sonar so you don't heat up your transducer. And you know, I've run with the transducer out of the water a few times and I've never damaged one, but you know, I think it's best practice to try not to have your transducer out of the water and have it sending sonar signal. So if you're not familiar with the file structure, this is your first time using a Garmin sonar unit or chart plotter, hey, go ahead, pick one of these books up at Amazon. It gives you the file structure so you can look up certain settings. And if you want my original or beginner settings, I'll send you that spreadsheet. Just email me at doubletfishing@outlook.com, and the link's down in the description, and we'll get that sent to you. So I hope this video's helped you. Keep calm and hook 'em, and we'll see you on the next one.